We have the tech to get food delivered in 15 minutes, but we all have horror stories about buying tickets. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage. Get amazing tickets in just a few taps. Fees are included, so what you see is what you pay. And the Game Time guarantee means authentic tickets at the best price every time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets to concerts, sports, comedy, and more with Game Time. Download the Game Time app and create an account for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
This is the Washington Times front page for Wednesday, May 6, 2026. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. The Trump administration says a U.S. ceasefire with Iran is intact despite a second day of hostilities in the Strait of Hormuz and attacks on the United Arab Emirates. Mike Glenn, Vaughn Conkane, and Tom Howell report Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth confirmed the ceasefire remains in place despite the attacks and an exchange of fire between U.S. and Iranian forces this week that resulted in the sinking of at least 6 Iranian boats that have been harassing commercial vessels in the strait. The president said the U.S. retains the upper hand in peace talks because the blockade is harming Iran's economy. Iran is using the strait, through which a fifth of the world's oil transits through, as leverage in those peace talks. Senate Republicans have expanded the scope of their immigration enforcement funding package to include $1 billion for White House ballroom project upgrades. Lindsay McPherson reports the budget reconciliation package that Republicans hope to pass this month provides a total of $71.8 billion through 2029. The bulk of that money, $69.3 billion, will go to the Department of Homeland Security to fund immigration enforcement agents and operations. The $1 billion for the White House ballroom is directed to the Secret Service for security adjustments and upgrades related to the project. The bill says the funds can't be used for non-security elements of the project. However, that figure is more than double the projected $400 million cost of the East Wing renovation, and it comes after the president said the project would be funded through private donations. A federal judge has ordered a disciplinary review of immigration officials' conduct for their breakdown in handling a deportation case. Stephen Dinan reports U.S. District Judge Melissa Dubose denounced Immigration and Customs Enforcement for ordering government attorneys to withhold key information about Brian Rafael Gomez, including that he is the subject of an investigative homicide warrant in the Dominican Republic. It's not clear why ICE gagged its own attorneys on that subject, and the judge said the disciplinary ethics review is designed to get to the bottom of the matter. She said she wouldn't have ordered Gomez's outright release from ICE custody last week if she had known. The case has become the latest in a series of rebukes from federal judges directed at the Trump administration's immigration enforcement. A new report has found the public's perception of crime rising nationwide has remained unchanged on average for nearly 20 years, despite a decline in most types of crime. Matt Delaney reports the Council on Criminal Justice said 69% of Americans believe crime was increasing across the country from 2005 to 2024, even though the total crime rate, which combines violent and property offenses, was nearly cut in half. The study showed the crime rate fell from 3,973 per 100,000 people in 2005 to 2,119 per 100,000 people in 2024. Fear of crime has fluctuated but returned to roughly the same level it was almost 60 years ago, the report said. The council found 35% of Americans were afraid to walk alone at night, the same percentage as in 1968. The nonprofit think tank gathered its data from multiple sources, including Gallup surveys and FBI crime reports. And finally, the Trump administration has accused the New York Times in a lawsuit of engaging in race-based workplace discrimination by rejecting a male editor who is white for a promotion in favor of a less experienced multiracial woman. Valerie Richardson reports an Equal Employment Opportunity Commission suit says the paper excluded the employee from its final panel interviews for a job opening as deputy real estate editor last year, despite his 11 years as a staff editor and experience in the field. None of the 4 applicants who advanced to the final stage was a white man. The company ultimately chose an outside candidate described as a non-white female with little to no experience in real estate journalism, despite such experience being a requirement for the position. Find all today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.
When was the last time you felt in control of your business finances? Expenses tracked, invoices sent, taxes ready. That's where Found comes in. Found brings your banking, bookkeeping, invoicing, and taxes together in one simple app. Manage expenses, invoice clients, send payments, and prep for tax time right where you bank. Join the hundreds of thousands who have already streamlined their finances with Found. Open a Found account for free at found.com. That's FOUND.com. Found is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services provided by Lead Bank, member FDIC.